What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about the Limit Break rerun banner that came back. This banner came back with the half anniversary costume and weapons. So in this banner there are a lot of things you can pull here. Limited things, but a lot of things. See, there are 8 different things you can get here. 4 costumes and 4 weapons to go with their costumes. So that's really exciting. I mean, the only other banner like this was maybe the summer rerun banner, but that was nowhere near as good as what we're seeing here. With in terms of these are, first of all, these are limited and these are very, very powerful. So let's get into it. I'll first go over the limited stuff one by one. Let's go look at Cloud first. So Cloud is the water arcanum. Ice. Cloud is the ice arcanum. Really strong. This 5 physical attack is pretty bad for an arcanum, but it still helps because the weapon that pairs with the costume, Stream Saber, is it doesn't give any physical attack. It gives boost physical attack to all allies, which is it's a different R ability than just boost physical attack. They both stack, so they're separate R abilities and they both can stack. So you want both. So this 5 physical attack on Cloud's costume is not good, but it's also not useless. So there's that. I can tell you that Cloud is the best physical ice user, so that is great. Even now he is the best ice physical user. This was released, I believe, 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. So it's been out for a while, but it's still the best. So even playing it now, you'll get a lot of use out of this. But we can compare it and see if you do have a strong ice setup, then yeah, you might not need Cloud. But let's see. So we have Tifa is probably, I think Tifa is the second best. Yeah, I would say so. Well, actually, you have Zack with his pressure ridge. It's not as strong as Cloud and Tifa's, but it does reduce ice resist with high potency. So if you value this, which you probably should, if you're using ice, you're doing ice damage, you probably want to reduce the ice resist of the enemy. Zack with pressure ridge, and he also has an ice arcanum that is pretty strong. But yeah, but also Tifa's is good too. She also has an ice arcanum, and I would say she's like the second best ice physical user. I think we have just one more. I think I don't have all the weapons, so but I'm pretty sure there's only one more, and that would be Yuffie. Yuffie with her spiral shuriken. It's strong. The problem is she doesn't have an ice arcanum, but she has her earth arcanum, which gives physical ability potency. So that's that's pretty good. And she also has a buff debuff weapon. Yuffie has. Let's look at Yuffie for a sec. Yuffie has. Oh, no, I can't do that. Okay. Yuffie, is it this one? Yeah, Yuffie has her pinwheel, which can reduce ice resist. So it's like Zack's, but she needs 2 weapons to do what Zack can do with just 1 weapon. So Yuffie would use pinwheel and spiral shuriken, and that's pretty good too. Basically, I'm showing you all these options because what I'm saying is if you have any of those options, then you don't really need Cloud to do your ice damage. Cloud is the best, but if you have Zack, Tifa, or Yuffie, those will be fine. But again, Cloud is the best. So even if you do have those, you might still want Cloud, especially Zack. Zack and Cloud pair, they're the best pairing. I don't think you would. Yuffie's okay. Yuffie could pair with Cloud too, but Zack and Cloud would be the best. You would almost never use Cloud and Tifa together. Yeah, but Yuffie and Zack would pair. Could pair with Cloud if you need extra DPS. Okay. I mean, I didn't really talk about it, but I'm kind of assuming you know. This is an old weapon, but Stream Saber, it is at 900%. That is the highest amount of ice damage. The other ones are around 700, 800, right? Zack's is 700, Yuffie's was 800. I don't know Tifa's off the top of my head. I'm thinking she's around 800. So Cloud does the most at 900%, as well as having boost physical attack to all allies. This is a premium R ability. This is premium because only limit break banners have this R ability. So if you want to boost your physical attack to the maximum, you're going to need weapons like this. If you use, let me go back to, well, let's look at, if you use, Tifa's weapon, okay, yeah, it's 800. She's not going to have boost physical attack to all allies. So she'll have boost physical attack, right? And she can easily max her physical attack. And after Tifa maxes her physical attack, the next best way to boost her damage is to have the boost physical attack to all allies, which is, again, it's only on these limit break banners, which is why, like weapons like Stream Saber are so good. They're so good. They're limited, so you can't pull them unless you pull on limit break banners, and they're very, very unique with this boost physical attack to all allies. So Cloud's Stream Saber, it does the best amount of ice damage, and it has the best and unique R ability here. So a very solid costume for Cloud. Let's talk about Glenn next, which is going to be similar to Cloud. I mean, so Glenn, instead of ice, he is water Arcanum. He also has the 5 physical attack. So same thing, just water. And then the comparison is almost going to be the same. I mean, the weapon is the same. It's also 900%, but instead of ice damage, it does water damage. It's pretty much the water version of Cloud. And then so we can compare Glenn to some water physical options, and Glenn is, in my opinion, more useful than Cloud. Hard to say. Glenn is more unique. No, sorry. All I'm trying to say is water physical is harder. There are less water physical users than there are ice physical users, so that's why I value Glenn here more. The only difference is, as a character overall, I would say Cloud is a better character overall, but water is a more useful. Is a rare element. So let's look at this is Glenn, right? Who is Glenn competing with? He's competing with Cloud. Cloud has a water weapon, Maritime, but it's not as strong. Only 750 compared to 900. And Cloud does not have a water Arcanum. He has a water mastery outfit. So he has the worst outfit and he has the worst weapon. But again, if you do have Cloud's, a water mastery and Maritime, that's good enough in my opinion. And then other than Cloud, there's Lucia, but yeah, she's okay. The problem with Lucy, okay, well, first of all, her weapon 790, that's actually stronger than Maritime's 750, right? But the problem with this Serpent's Eater is, first of all, it gives HP. While Maritime gives physical attack, Serpent Eater just gives HP. And then third, Lucia does not have a costume that helps Serpent Eater. She does not have a water Arcanum. She doesn't even have a water mastery outfit. So it's hard to make Serpent Eater work, but you can make it work depending on the content. And then other than that, actually there's one more. I don't have it. Wait, do I? No, I don't have it. I think it's on the wish list though. I mean, it can be wish listed. So, this one, yeah. So recent banner Sephiroth also came with a water Arcanum. So if you do have Sephiroth's Tempest, this is like Zack's ice weapon, but water. Then that's good enough too. I mean, it's different, right? So it's only 700% compared to Glen's 900%, but it also does water resist down. So pretty solid, pretty solid. But also, if you do have Sephiroth, you can also use Sephiroth and Glen together, and that would be really, really strong water DPS. So, depends what you're looking for. Yeah, so let me go back and summarize for Glen. So, I mean, Glen, he is the best water physical user, the best. But he does have some competition in Cloud's Maritime, Lucia's Serpent Eater, and Sephiroth. But Sephiroth doesn't really count as competition because you can actually use both. You can use Glen and Sephiroth together. So, yeah. But overall, Glen is the best, and he's really solid. He also got a really recent weapon to pair well. He got Slay the Day, which boosts physical attack, water potency, and also decrease enemy physical defense and increase water damage. So this is the perfect Slay the Day, perfect pairing for Glen's Stream Slasher. Glen is amazing at water physical damage. Yep. So far so good, right? You've got the best ice physical setup. You have the best water physical setup, and then let's look at Zack next because he's the most similar. So Zack is Fire Arcanum, but he's doing magic damage now. So he's a magic fire user. His weapon is a little different from the melee the physical weapons. It does a lot of fire damage, but it's a little different. So it's a little less. It does 850 instead of 900, but it can be boosted. So when Zack is 70% HP or higher, it does 1.2 times more damage. So actually, if he's 70% or higher, he will do actually more than 900% damage, which is pretty nice. And instead of boost physical attack to all allies, he has boost magic attack to all allies, which again, for the same reasons I said, this is a premium R ability. Yep. But one thing about Zack is I would say he is not. He can be, but I would say he is not the best fire magic user. So a little different from Cloud and Glen. All right, Cloud is the best physical ice. Basically, these are the best. Cloud is the best. Glen is the best at something. Best at physical ice. Best at physical water. But Zack arguably is not the best fire magic user. He can be. It depends on the situation because mainly because of this, but I don't want to talk about that too much. But just showing you, it's on the current banner right now. You could just pull for Tifa if you want a fire magic user, a strong one. You could just pull for Tifa's, and her weapon does 940% fire magic damage, and just like Zack, it can also be boosted by 20%. So Zack did 850, so 850 versus 940, right? So Tifa's is obviously better in the C ability, but again, like I said, Tifa has boost magic attack, which is not as good as Zack's. Boost magic attack to all allies. Remember, this is the premium R ability. You can only get this from Limit Break banners. So in some situations, it would be preferable to use Zack because of this R ability, but Tifa will do just fine as well. So Zack, still good. He's just not the best. Just because he's not the best, it doesn't mean he's not good. He's still the first or second best, depending on the situation. Okay, so far so good. We have 3, and then the last costume to talk about is Sephiroth's. In my opinion, Sephiroth is the best of the 4. I mean, it's hard to say because they all serve different purposes, but I think Sephiroth is the best because he has magic ability mastery, which is weaker. It's 15% extra damage, magic damage, but it's useful in more situations, right? Because this 15% increases all elements. So if you're doing ice magic damage, you'll get 15% extra. If you're doing fire magic damage, you'll get 15% extra. If you're doing lightning magic damage, you'll get 15% extra, and so on. So it's more universal, this one. Whereas, the other costumes, they only work in one element, right? Cloud only works with ice, Glenn only works with water. Sephiroth works with all elements. And not only that, but his second R ability is also better. Cloud and Glenn have 5 physical attack. Zack has 5 magic attack. These are really small numbers, 5, and it's really easy to get magic attack. It's really easy to get physical attack. But 10 HP, that's way more useful. 10 HP is getting you to level 2, or getting you to higher levels of HP, and that is almost always useful. So, of the 4 costumes, I'd say Sephiroth is the best. But obviously, of course, it is situational, right? So, I mean, if you need fire magic, obviously Zack is going to be stronger than Sephiroth doing fire magic. But yeah. And then let's look at Sephiroth's weapon. I also think that his weapon is the best of the 4, but again, it depends. So Sephiroth's weapon does 900, just as high as Cloud and Glenn, and higher than Zack's. And it's different though. It does AoE damage. It does AoE 900 to all enemies, but if you hit a single enemy, then it does 30% more damage. So if you're hitting a single enemy, it does even more. It does 1,170, if my math is correct, 1,170% magic non-elemental damage to a single enemy. That's just amazing. This is the best non-elemental magic damage weapon in the game, and arguably, well, it's also the best non-elemental AoE damage in the game, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So very, very useful at killing AoE and single target enemies, and also really strong R abilities. It has the same boost magic attack to all allies as Zack's weapon, but the second R ability, boost magic ability potency. This is good in all situations, so you can use this as a sub weapon for many builds, right? But if you use Zack's weapon as a sub weapon, you still get the boost magic attack to all allies, which is very good as a sub weapon, but then you get boost fire potency, which isn't always good, right? So Sephiroth's weapon is really good all the time, just like his costume, right? It's because it's non-elemental, everything, and magic ability potency, everything works in many situations. So, in my opinion, Sephiroth is the best of the 4, but I would say all 4 costumes and all 4 weapons are very, very strong. I didn't compare Sephiroth to any weapons. I mean, I can, yes. He does have some competition, but but not really, because his Sephiroth's weapon does AoE damage, non-elemental, and there's no competition for that. But if we're talking single target, then there are. I don't think I can. Can I do like this? Oh, that looks right if I do. Okay, these are non-elemental. So he's competing with. I mean, I don't have it, but Cloud has. What's it called? Zidane's sword. It's a limited weapon. But that. I'm sure most players do not have that, so there's that. He's competing with kind of, but not really. Let's see. Tifa's Power Soul does kind of. I mean, Tifa's Power Soul does 900% magic non-elemental damage. Sephiroth does 900, but also multiplied by 1.3, right? If he's hitting a single target, so. Yeah, and Power Soul's okay, actually. That's kind of competition. He's competing with Guide Gloves. I mean, Guide Gloves is doing physical damage, where Sephiroth is doing magic, but sometimes, especially if you want non-elemental damage, sometimes physical and magic doesn't really matter. So yeah, he is competing with Guide Gloves. I don't think this is really, let's see. Oh, kind of. kind of, but this is probably one of the worst ones. But Red's leather collar does 940 physical, but it has bad R abilities, right? You just have HP and Earth potency, but he's not doing Earth damage, so there's that. Then I might be missing some, but I'm getting the important ones. I would say he is competing with Kate Sith's Yellow Megaphone, which does 700, but it can crit and do triple damage when it crits. So that would be like a lot, right? Over 2,000, maybe 3,000 damage, depending on. I don't know the math. I don't use Kate Sith, but I believe Kate Sith is the best non-elemental damage user in the game. So Sephiroth is competing with that, yes. Vincent that just released has I'm gonna skip him for now, but he does have I think 2 non-elemental weapons that are pretty good. Same with Zack. Zack's pretty strong, 1,400, but Zack is physical. And I believe Sephiroth has his own. Which one was it? Sephiroth has his own. I don't know which one it is though. Is it this one? Oh, it is this one. Okay. He has his own non-elemental magic damage weapon, Shinra Blade. 940. You know, that's pretty close actually. So there's that. Glenn has automatic. You know, there's a lot of non-elemental weapons in the game, but Sephiroth is the best, right? Okay, so that's all. Yeah, Sephiroth is the best. Yeah, so that's my review of the 4 individual limited costumes and weapons. So they're all really good. Next, let's talk about should you pull, and if you pull, what should you put on your cards? Because I have all the costumes, but on each of the 4 pages on the 12th stamp, you can choose one of the 4 costumes. For me, since I have all the costumes, the game just gives me 30 mithril ore if I pull there. You can choose which costume you want, and you can choose which weapon you want. Of the 4 weapons, you can choose which 4. So there are many different strategies, right? You can put all of one weapon. You could put, you could get one of each weapon. So we can talk about. Let's talk about strategy first. So if you do pull, what should you do? So obviously, if you do pull, you might want. You might have some already, because this is a rerun of the banner. You might have some weapons already, you might have some costumes already, but I'll just try to cover everyone's situation if I can. So, first for costumes, you're gonna, well, in my opinion, you want Sephiroth's costume. It's just the best one. I can't think of any situation where you wouldn't pick Sephiroth first. Sephiroth is the best of the 4. So if you don't have Sephiroth's costume yet, you would pick him, and then, if you have Sephiroth, then between the other 3, it would mainly depend on what you need. So, they all have alternatives, right? Like I said, there are other options for Cloud, physical ice. If you have other physical ice, if you have other physical water, then, you pick the one that you need. So, yeah. If you have all 3 covered, I mean, if you already have physical ice, you already have physical water, and you have magical fire, you're pretty well covered. You probably don't need to pull. But if you do want to pull, then it would just be it would really depend on you. So, which one do you want to be even stronger, or which one do you want to have more options for? I don't think it matters that much at that point. If you have all of them, you're probably a strong player already. But if I were to give advice, like if I had all of these covered already, I mean, I said Sephiroth is first, then I choose Glenn as the second best, because water is the physical water is. Glenn's competition for physical water is quite weak. I mean, you have Cloud. Cloud's physical water is it's very old, and so it's mostly been powercraft. I mean, like, it's still strong, but it's not that strong. And then Lucia doesn't even have a costume, so it's not really competition for Glenn. And then the last competition for Glenn is Sephiroth, but Sephiroth actually complements Glenn. I mean, you can use Sephiroth and Glenn in the same party. And then not only that, but Glenn recently got a weapon to complement. Oh, wait, sorry. Glenn recently got a weapon to complement his water weapon in the Slay the Day. Yeah, right here, Slay of the Day. So you can wishlist this to go with Glenn's Stream Slasher, and that you just got a really, really strong. I would say Glenn's build. Basically, what I'm saying is, Glenn's water build is the strongest compared to Cloud's Ice and Zack Fire. So yeah, Glenn I would say is second best. After Glenn, I think I would choose Zack, but it's close. I think I would choose Zack just because, well, no, let me take it back. They're pretty equal, honestly, but I'm kind of biased towards Zack because actually Zack is the only one I don't have. So I have Cloud and his weapon, I have Glenn and his weapon, I have Sephiroth and his weapon, and then I have Zack, but I never pulled his weapon yet. So I'm a little biased towards wanting Zack. But actually, when I think about it, I think they're both quite equal. So it depends. Maybe which one you like or what content you're trying to clear. Zack would be good for clearing Shiva. Cloud is good for clearing Bahamut and Ifrit. Yeah, but in my opinion, Shiva is much harder. I'm talking about the EX2 fights, so I do value Zack a little more, but yeah, it's close. Cloud and Zack, it really depends. Yeah, okay, so going back to the stamp card, so which costume should you put? Put Sephiroth as number 1, I think, in most cases, and then put whatever one you need, and so on. For weapons, it's kind of the same logic. So for weapons, well, it is a little different. So there are several strategies for weapons. So there's several breakpoints too. At OB0 is actually really good on these weapons because you get boost magic attack to all allies, 30 points, which if you use it as a sub weapon, it gets to 15 points, which means you can put this on your healer, and then your healer will boost your main DPS's magic attack by 14%. So this is a way to boost your main DPS by utilizing your healer's sub weapons. So that's really, really strong. And the only way to get 30 points, not the only way, but the easiest way to get 30 points is to get an OB0 weapon and level it to 120. So I would say one strategy is, if you're pulling on these, to put one of each weapon on each stamp card. Make sure you pull at least one copy of everything, OB0. That's one strategy. Another strategy is maybe you don't, you really want you really want a weapon at OB1 or OB6, right? Because OB1 and OB6, those are where the C ability gets stronger. So if you really want one of your weapons to be OB1 or OB6, then it's very easy to do on this banner, because let's look. You get one guaranteed weapon here on page 1, 2 guaranteed weapons on page 2, and 2 guaranteed on page 3, and also 2 guaranteed on page 4. And then after that, well, I don't recommend pulling unless you really want something. But so that's total what? 2, 4, 6. Wait, 2, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 guaranteed weapons if you do want to pull on 4 pages, which means you could guarantee an OB6 weapon. One OB6 weapon, you could do that. Or you could guarantee you could guarantee 3 OB1 weapons, and either way, no matter what you do, you would always guarantee at least 4 OB0 weapons, right? As long as you pull to page 3.5, you would guarantee that. So the strategy depends on your account. I can show you what I did on the original banners by showing you. I'll show you my limit break weapons. So what I did, I went for the OB1 strategy because when the half anniversary came out, I was a really new player, so I really just needed weapons I could use for the element. So like for example, this is my Obi-Wan Stream Saber. This gives me a pretty strong ice physical weapon. I mean, not by whale standards, obviously, but it's pretty strong to clear most content with just Obi-Wan weapon. So I wanted to have many Obi-Wan weapons so I could cover many elements. So now, right, even today, this is this Obi-Wan Stream Saber. Cloud is still my best physical ice user. There's no one better than Cloud right now, for me at least. And then same with Glenn. I got his Stream Slasher to OB2, and Glenn right now, he is still my best water user. You know, even just OB2. And then same with Sephiroth. I got an OB2 Protector's Blade for Sephiroth. Sephiroth is my best non-elemental magic user. So I went for the spread, and I did not go for the Zack. I could have. I could have, but the thing is, I forgot to talk about is if you don't get a 5-star, right? 5-star gives you that 30 points. If you don't get a 5-star, but you get a 4-star, 4-star still gives you 12 points. Cut in half still gives you level 2. So you won't get level 3, 14%, but you'll still get level 2 plus 10% magic attack to all allies, which, you know, it's good enough for me at least. It depends how competitive you are. Are you going for how hard of content you're trying to clear? For me, this is good enough. So that's the strategy I went for. But again, it really depends on what you're trying to go for. Are you trying to boost? Do you want these weapons just as sub weapons? You know, because they are amazing sub weapons. Then pull at least one 5-star copy of each. Are you trying to strengthen a specific element? Then you can focus all your weapons on that element. Yeah, it's really up to you. Okay. And then finally, I'll talk about should you pull. Oh no, I mean that's what I've been talking about. Right? So should you? Oh no, I haven't. No, I haven't. Should you pull? So I didn't talk about that yet. Should you pull? I think for most players, I would say yes. I think I rarely say that. I rarely say you should pull, or a banner is a must pull. But for this banner, I think most players should, and I'll explain. So they should, because these weapons are just amazing sub weapons. First of all, so if you don't have any of these weapons, this is a must pull. You should pull on just to at least get a 5-star copy. But okay, if you do have these weapons, like me, I pull on this and on the half anniversary, right? So players like me should you pull? That's a little different. So players like me who already have these weapons and costumes, right? I already have all 4 costumes. I can only get Mithril from stamp 12. Players like me is more debatable, because since you know, players like me, you already have these weapons, right? You already have them, so you would only be pulling to get these to higher overboosts, right? Like if I pull, I set up my stamp card. If I pull, I would go for Sephiroth. I would try to get his weapon to OB6. So right now my Sephiroth's Protector's Blade is OB2. So if I wanted to get to OB6, I need 4 more copies, right? But also, we also have parts. I mean, you might also get parts as you pull. So like, see, so mine's OB2, but I have 100 parts. So you know, I could do this. I could spend 85 of his specific parts. Actually, I have a lot. I could actually overboost it twice. So it depends on your parts as well, right? So for me, I assume I can use parts for at least 1 overboost, and maybe even 2 if I want to. Wait, actually, 2. Yeah, I could do 2. But I really like to save my parts if I can. So if I were pulling, I would want, I think, 3 copies. Yeah, 3 copies would be OB5, and then I would use parts to get it to OB6. So I put 1 here, 2, 3, right? So if I pull 1 page to almost 2.5 pages, if I pull for 2.5 pages, a little more, then I can get his Protector's Blade to OB5, and then I can use parts for OB6. And that's also assuming I don't pull any copies, right? Because when we look at the odds, these are actually really good odds. You have 1% chance to pull each one. So you have like a 4% chance to pull at least a limit break weapon, which is pretty good. But a specific one, you still have a okay chance to pull. I mean, I still might pull a natural 5-star Protector's Blade, right? As I pull on the banner. So I'm just talking worst case scenario, which even in the worst case scenario is pretty good because these stamp cards are quite generous. You get guaranteed weapons, you get a costume if you don't have a costume, and you get 2 guaranteed on the pages afterwards. So I wouldn't need to spend too much, and I could get an OB6 Protector's Blade, which I am considering. But yeah, it's hard to say. So players like me, it's hard to say. Do I need an OB6 Protector's Blade? I would say no, I don't need it. So I mean, well, technically you don't need anything in this game, so it would be nice to have one, but I don't need it. So yeah, it is hard to say. I might do this, but even while doing this, like I said, it's quite nice because as I pull on the first 2 pages, I have a 4% chance each pull, right? Not each pull. Oh yeah, each pull. 4% chance per slot to get some other limit break weapons on my way, which is really, really nice. And then yeah, I'll just talk about myself now since I've already talked about Sephiroth. And then if I do pull, it also depends on the stamps, right? So maybe as you pull, you get lucky on stamps. So maybe I land on stamp 9 or I land on stamp 10. And then maybe you might as well keep going, and then that's how they get you, right? But then I think I would pull for Zack next because, like I said, I don't even have his weapon at OB5, OB0. I have 4-star, so if I could get Zack to 5 stars, then I would get the boost magic attack to all allies to level 3. That would be pretty nice, and also, I would want to get Zack's weapon to OB1, so I would have a strong fire magic user. Maybe I can clear Shiva X2. I think I can clear it if I just had OB1. I think OB1 is enough, really, to clear hard content like that. So I would want an OB1 Zack Stream Guard. And then, if I do pull, I don't know. Really, I only want this, but I mean, I kind of want Zack's too. And then if I do continue on, like I said, I think Glenn is just stronger than Cloud. At least his water build is. So I would just boost up Glenn. Like my Stream Slasher is OB2. And if I get these 2, it would be OB4. Not that different, but it'll be on its way. And then there's no more guarantee later, so you would stop on page 4 and wait for the next time this a limit break banner returns. Yeah, so that would be my strategy. Your strategy could be to just let's say you have 0 copies of Sephiroth's Protector's Blade. You could just put Protector's Blade on all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's guaranteed OB6 Protector's Blade. If you want to do that, you can do that as well. But yeah, it just depends on what you have, and also depends on your luck as you pull. You might pull some Protector's Blades or whatever. Yeah. Anything else to say about this one? Oh, okay. So far, I'm saying most players should pull on this, but there are 2 reasons why you might not want to pull on this. So the first reason is the anniversary is coming up in a little over a month, and these weapons were half anniversary weapons, and they're very, very strong, but no one knows what will happen on the anniversary. Maybe they'll even be stronger. I mean, you would assume so. I mean, at least I would assume so, that the anniversary weapons will be even stronger. So it depends how many crystals you have that will help you decide should you pull on this. It's a very, very good banner, I would say. So I think you should pull, but yeah, you should also take into consideration the anniversary that's coming up. And the second reason why you might not want to pull is, well, which can also be a reason why you should pull, is first of all, this banner is better than the original banner. I mean, the original Limit Break banner only had 2 weapons, so it was originally 2 banners. So it was originally only 2 banners, so you could only get Stream Saber, and Stream Guard. So you only had a 2% chance to get a new weapon. And then there was 2 banners, right? There was Protector's Blade and Stream Slasher. Oh no, sorry, no, it's Protector's Blade and Stream Guard. These 2, the magic weapons were on one banner, and the physical weapons were on another banner. So every time you pull, you only have 2% chance to get a new weapon. But right now, all 4 are on the same banner. So now when you're pulling, you're getting a 4% chance to get a new weapon. So this banner is just better. So what that means is it's good to pull now because it's better. But what that also means is maybe the next time this banner reruns, it'll be even better. I mean, because looking at the Vincent's banner. Vincent's banner is also a Limit Break banner, so no one knows, right? But I think I'm just making a guess here, but maybe the next time a limit, this is a Limit Break banner that's it's a rerun, right? So maybe the next time this banner comes back, it's gonna have Cloud, Sephiroth, Zack, Glenn, and Vincent. If that happens, then it's gonna be even better. So every banner is just bait for the next banner, and so on. Which is what I'm saying. So if you don't need these weapons or costumes right now, then yeah, it might actually be better to wait for this banner to rerun a second time, and also, like I said, for the anniversary. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think you can't go wrong with this. So if you do pull on this, and for me, I am strongly considering pulling on this because mainly for Sephiroth and Zack, right? Because I'm really close to getting this Protector's Blade to OB6. It won't cost me much at all. It won't even cost me 2 pages. It'll cost me 1.5 pages to get this to OB6. And then even after that, I might even go to page 3 because I don't even have 1 copy of this, and then if I get 2 copies, it'll really help my fire team because if you look at my fire weapons, I don't have anything for magic. So my best fire weapon is Sky Splitter for Cloud, which is good. Obviously, I have Cloud's costume, but for magic, can I do magic? No, I can't. For magic, I don't have anything. I have, this Barrett's 340. I have Kate's 340. Red's 290. I got Zack's 340. They're all AoE fire magic damage weapons. I don't have anything. I mean, this one's single target, I think. Yeah, but it's only 5-star, 390. Yeah, I don't have anything for fire magic, and you need fire magic to clear Shiva X2, so I kind of do want fire magic. So that's what Stream Guard would be nice to have. But at the same time, there's another fire magic banner, which is Tifa's, and I was actually just thinking to wait until Tifa's banner goes away, and then I can wishlist her Shell Knuckles, and then I would have a fire magic damage user. So I don't need it right now, so that's why I'm still trying to wait and see. The problem with this Limit Break banner is it ends quite soon, August 7th. Even Vincent's banner even Vincent's banner, which came out last week, it ends later. It ends on August 14th. While this one ends quite soon, so we don't have much time to think about it, but we do have time. So I'm going to take my time and think about it a little bit before I decide. But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know if you're going to pull or if you're not going to pull. And if you do pull, let me know you know, what are you pulling for? Because there are lots of things you could pull for, right? There are 4 different costumes and 4 different weapons, and you can choose which ones you place on your stamp card. So that's really exciting. But with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.